Pratna Kumar Reddy. I'm presently pursuing my fourth semester in Teshara College of Engineering, and the course name is Biology for Engineers, and the course code is BBOC 407. Now we are going to learn about the topic of potential hazards of waste disposal and landfills. Introduction. Improper waste disposal and landfills can pose serious environmental and health hazards. Inadequate management of waste can lead to pollution of air, water, and soil. It is crucial to understand the potential risk associated with the waste disposal to mitigate these dangers. As because of the waste disposal, there are many improper effects in the environment. Some of them are land pollution, air pollution, water pollution, extreme weather, and radiation of hazardous materials, plant death, animal and marine death, and loss of habitats, low biodiversity, and diseases and health issues. All these causes are the causes of waste disposal. And when it comes to the air pollution, when we dump huge landfills or waste disposal, they emit methane and greenhouse effect gases, which causes the climatic change. And burning of waste releases toxic fume, like burning of waste releases toxic fumes and particulate matter into the atmosphere. For example, if you burn some plastic or any other materials, this release some blackish kind of toxic fumes which are very harmful in the atmosphere, and inhaling them causes the major harmful for the respiratory system. Poorly managed landfills can release volatile organic compounds that can harm respiratory health. When it comes to the water contamination, leachate from the landfills can seep into the groundwater and surface water, contaminating drinking and water sources. As you can see in this picture, the truck is disposing water. The truck is unloading the waste disposal into the landfill, and from the landfill there are some spillage which is connected to the river bodies, and these river bodies are connected to the nearby towns wells, and from these wells the people fetch the water, and when these water are consumed by the humans, this causes various diseases to the humans and other living organisms, because these water bodies are connected to some landfills or some factories which releases some bad toxic chemicals into the water, or there are some leakages from the septic tanks and everything. So we need to take a proper precautions for the or landfills and other sewage treatments and everything. Hazardous chemicals from the waste can leach into water bodies, affecting aquatic ecosystem. And these water bodies, when these are contaminated by these landfills and other factories and everything, the living organisms in the aquatic are getting affected, and some of and most of the fishes died due to these toxic chemicals in the water. Landfills near coastal areas can lead to marine pollution and impacting marine life and ecosystem. Landfills near coastal areas, the coastal areas which are near to the marine. So when we do the landfills near the coastal areas, it affects the marine pollution. Like in other words, we can say it causes the water pollution in the marines, and it can affect the water bodies. It can affect the living organisms in the water, and it can change the what it can cause a different drastic change in the ecosystem, because when like in the water there is a ecosystem, like the small fishes are eaten by the big fishes and everything, all these kind of stuffs, and the algae are eaten by the small fishes. So when due to this contaminated water, it affects the living organisms in the water and can cause a drastic change in the ecosystems. And when it comes to the soil degradation, improper disposal of waste can lead to the soil contamination with heavy metals and pesticides and other harmful substances. As you can see in this picture, there is a huge load of soil degradation. Like this is some kind of landfill and waste disposal, and this causes the land to become infertility, and due to the infertility, we cannot perform any agriculture activities in that land, and because of this, it can degrade the land value and degrade the land value, and we cannot we cannot grow proper plants in those areas, and it can affect the human health because these landfills cause bad odor, and inhaling this bad odor can cause various kinds of diseases to the humans. So, doing this waste disposal and the landfills, we need to think it in a proper way and do the disposal in a place where no humans or any surrounding areas, like nobody would go in contact to those areas. As this, if there are no people around these land areas, nobody will get harmed and anything. But when these landfills are happening, most of the people are getting affected due to the cancer, and inhaling these gases causes huge harmful diseases to the people and everything. Not even the human beings, even the other living organisms like animals in the aquatic living organisms and the birds, everything are getting affected due to the landfills or even the waste disposal. So you need to take the proper precautions for these kind of systems. And health risk. Exposures to toxins waste can lead to respiratory problems. As I said earlier, it leads to various respiratory problems, and when we come into direct contact with waste, it can cause skin irritation and other health issues. Communities living in landfills may face higher rates of cancer, birth defects, and other health problems. As I said, so landfills should be done in a place where humans cannot go easily, because landfills are very harmful to the living organisms. So it should be very far away from the communities. And if it is nearby communities, they have to face high rates of cancer and birth defects and other health problems. Workers in waste management face occupational hazards such as exposure to hazardous materials and injuries. As you can see here, in a young child most vulnerable, the nervous system gets damaged due to all these kind of waste disposal because of the health issues. Like this, the nervous system are still developing and they absorb 4 to 5 times more than the adults, which can cause intellectual disability. See, waste disposal can cause the intellectual disability, unperforming at school, and behavioral issues. And in adults, it can cause up to heart diseases and strokes. And in pregnant women, it can cause up to the developing fetus. It affects the developing fetus in a pregnant woman. So we need to take a proper precautions in the what waste disposal. And wildlife impact. Improper waste disposal can harm wildlife through injection of plastic, toxins, and substances, and entanglement in waste. Landfills attract scavenging animals, leading to conflicts and potential spread of diseases. And pollution from the landfills can disrupt ecosystem and threaten biodiversity. Fire hazards. Accumulation of combustible materials in landfills can lead to spontaneous fires and emitting toxic smoke and gases. Like when we do the what landfills, we need to take care of the various toxic materials, because when different kinds of toxic materials meet each other, some kinds of reaction takes place and some emit spontaneous fires which can emit toxic smoke into the air, and some other gases are also emitted which causes the air pollution. And due to the air pollution, it can cause into drastic change in the greenhouse gases, and it can cause up to acid rains and everything. So we need to take care of these toxic materials while doing the landfills. And these landfills, when they emit toxic smoke, it can affect the human bodies or any other living organisms, because when they inhale them, it causes some health issues. Landfill fires can be difficult to extinguish and pose risk to nearby communities. And landfills shouldn't be done nearby communities, because by chance, if some landfill fires are being generated, it is difficult to as extinguish them because they are in a huge quantity, and the smokes can go to the nearby communities and can cause various health diseases to the nearby communities. Smoke from the landfill fires can contain harmful pollutants that impact the air quality. As I said, it can cause up to the what acid rain. So It can disturb the air quality and the public health. So it should be far away from the communities. And odor and aesthetic impact. As you can see in this picture, there is a huge lot of dump of waste disposal, and it is causing what bad odor. And due to the bad odor, all the birds and everything, flies, everything are getting attracted to those, and these birds fly to a different parts of the world, and this causes some various what health issues in the air, and what we can say, all this while this insect travel from one place to another, the chemicals or anything, all the toxic materials are supplied into the air and can cause what air pollution. Landfills can produce foul odors from decomposing waste and affecting the quality of the life of the nearby residents. Visual population from landfills can decrease property values and impact tourism in the area, like dumping of waste disposal into some areas. It can cause the property value to decrease, and it affects the tourism in that area because of the bad smell. Nobody would suggest to go to some places where there is some bad kind of smell, and it is some kind of what we can say, it is uh, like nobody, like people wouldn't think of going to a place where it is full some kind of bad smell or anything. So the main thing is that if you do a landfill, it causes odor, and in that area it affects the tourism, so nobody would visit those kind of places, as nobody would willingly take the bad health risks or anything. So people would prefer to stay away from the landfills and the waste disposal. And proper waste management practices are essential to minimize odor and aesthetic concern. Like the waste, like we need to do a proper waste management because we need to minimize the odor and the aesthetic concern. Like if you do the proper waste management, it can reduce the odor smell to a certain mark, and it can maintain the aesthetic of that area. Like if you see, when we come to the sustainable waste management, we need to segregate the waste in, like in the terms, we need to what dump the wet waste into the different container and the dry waste into separate container, and the toxic chemicals into a separate container. Like when we visit to some hospitals or anywhere, they maintain a proper sustainable waste management. Like as you can see, they keep green color, red color, and yellow color kinds of waste containers, because the green color they put what normally they put the wet waste, and into the yellow they put the toxic, and into the red one they put the dry waste. So we need to do a proper waste management. Adopting waste reduction, recycling, and composition practices can minimize the need of landfill. And if you like, if there are some recyclable materials, if you put into a recyclable container, they can be recycled and can be molded into new products. Implementing advanced waste treatment technology can reduce environmental impacts and promote sustainability. Like if you do a proper categorized waste disposal, it it can be helpful to the treatment technologies and can reduce environmental impacts, and this promotes sustainability everywhere. Public awareness and participation in waste management in activities are key of fostering a culture of responsible waste disposal. We need to spread the awareness in the public, and we need to participate in various waste disposal, such as like Swachh Bharat Abhiyan was there. Like these are all the concepts which we need to pass on to the further generation, as they need to learn about the waste disposal, so we can maintain the proper biodiversity in the nature, and it can maintain the proper ecosystem. And we need to do a proper waste management disposal. But main thing is to we need to create the awareness, like we need to dump the wet waste into the wet container, dry waste into the dry container, and the toxic into toxic, and recyclable materials into a recycle. And we need to do a proper waste management in the society. Thank you.